The wine glass slipped from my foster mother's manicured fingers, merlot spreading across the white tablecloth like blood on snow. Gerald, my foster father, was turning an impressive shade of purple, a piece of prime rib lodged somewhere it shouldn't be. Their real daughter Brittany just sat there, mouth hanging open like a broken mailbox. And me? I calmly set my phone to speaker. I apologize for calling during the holidays, Ms. Morgan, the voice continued, crisp and professional. But the dean wanted to personally ensure you received our invitation to speak at the spring commencement. As our youngest valedictorian in Harvard Law's history, your story would inspire. I ended the call with a polite, "I'll review the details and get back to you," then reached for my water glass. The silence at the table was exquisite. Better than any Christmas carol I'd ever heard. Harvard. Linda's voice cracked like thin ice. Law school. I nodded, cutting into my now cold turkey. I graduate in May. But let me back up. You need to understand how we got to this moment. This beautiful, devastating moment where the truth finally decided to show up for Christmas dinner. I came to the Morrison house when I was 12. Just another foster kid in the system, clutching a garbage bag of belongings and a file thick with behavioral issues, which really meant I asked too many questions in class and read above grade level. Linda and Gerald Morrison already had Brittany, their biological daughter, 2 years older than me, blonde and petted like a prized poodle. From day one, the hierarchy was clear. Brittany was gifted. Brittany was special. Brittany was going places. Me. I was the monthly check from the state, the charity case they could parade at church, the unfortunate soul they were saving. Jasmine just isn't academically inclined like our Brittany, Linda would tell anyone who'd listen, usually while I was standing right there. But that's okay. Not everyone can be book smart. She's very good at other things. The other things being cooking, cleaning, and staying quiet while Brittany got tutoring for her CS and DS. Here's what they didn't know. I was pulling straight as at the underfunded public school they sent me to. I was teaching myself calculus from library books because they wouldn't pay for advanced classes. I was writing essays on a laptop I bought with money from cleaning houses on weekends. Work I told them was volunteer service, because foster kids weren't supposed to have jobs without permission. When I was 15, my English teacher, Ms. Delgado, pulled me aside. Jasmine, have you thought about college? The Morrisons say college isn't for everyone, I'd replied, practiced and hollow. She'd looked at me for a long moment. The Morrisons are wrong. That became my lifeline. Ms. Delgado helped me apply for every scholarship, every program, every opportunity the Morrisons would never tell me about. She drove me to SAT prep courses on Saturdays. I told the Morrisons I was at extra help sessions. Technically true. She reviewed my essays on her lunch breaks. She believed in me when no one else would. When I got into Harvard for undergrad, I didn't tell them. I couldn't. Not when Linda spent every family dinner talking about how Brittany was exploring her options at community college. She'd failed out twice. Not when Gerald kept joking that I should be grateful they gave me a chance at a normal life. Not when they collected that foster care check every month while telling everyone they were saints for taking in a child like that. So I created a parallel life. To them, I was attending the local state school, majoring in general studies, working at a coffee shop. In reality, I was at Harvard on a full ride, double majoring in political science and economics, maintaining a 4.0 while working as a research assistant. The logistics were insane. I'd leave the house at 6 a.m. for my early shift and take a bus to Cambridge. I kept a storage unit near campus with my real clothes, my textbooks, my life. I'd change in gas station bathrooms, transforming from foster kid to Ivy League student. I studied in libraries until midnight, then caught the last bus home, where I'd sneak in through the basement door I'd learned to jimmy open sophomore year. For years of that. For years of Linda asking if I needed help filling out community college applications, when I was ready. For years of Brittany calling me too stupid to even wait tables properly, when I'd come home exhausted from organic chemistry labs. For years of Gerald reminding me I should be saving money to get my own place, since college isn't in your future. I graduated summa cum laude. They didn't know. I got into Harvard Law. They didn't know. I spent 3 more years perfecting my deception, watching them collect those foster checks until I aged out, then letting them believe I was struggling to make rent while I was actually living in Cambridge, serving as editor of the Law Review, clerking for a federal judge. Which brings us back to tonight. Christmas dinner, 2023. My last semester of law school. But you're at state, Gerald sputtered, prime rib crisis averted. Studying, what was it? General things? I lied. Simple. Clean. Like ripping off a bandage that had been festering for 7 years. You lied. Linda's voice pitched high enough to summon dogs. We raised you. We gave you everything. You gave me a roof, I corrected calmly. And psychological abuse. And constant reminders that I wasn't as good as your real daughter. The state gave you $800 a month for that privilege. How dare you? Brittany started, but I wasn't done. I graduated summa cum laude from Harvard College, I continued, voice steady as a metronome. Full scholarship. Now I'm at Harvard Law, also full scholarship, graduating first in my class. I've already accepted an offer at Wachtell, Lipton, starting salary $215,000, not including bonuses. I pulled out my phone, showing them the email. Oh, and the Kaplan Foundation, the one that gives that big fellowship? They want to fund my doctorate. Apparently, my thesis on foster care reform caught their attention. The silence stretched like taffy. Then Brittany, poor dim Brittany, decided to speak. This is fake. You're lying for attention. There's no way someone like you. Someone like me? I smiled, and it wasn't kind. You mean a foster kid? Someone who spent Christmas mornings watching you open presents while I got dollar store socks? Someone who ate leftover dinners while you all had seconds? Someone who did your homework for you junior year because Linda threatened to reconsider the placement if you failed again. Linda's face went white. You didn't. I did. Every single essay. Because I was 16 and terrified of being thrown back in the system. But here's the beautiful irony. Even doing your homework and mine, I still got better grades. Gerald stood up, his chair scraping against hardwood. Get out. Get out of my house. Gladly. I stood too, smooth and unhurried. But first, let me give you your Christmas present. I pulled out an envelope from my purse, placed it on the table between the gravy boat and Linda's shattered wine glass. What is this? Linda asked, not touching it. An invoice, I said. For 7 years of unpaid labor. Cooking, cleaning, tutoring Brittany, maintaining this house while you went on vacations I wasn't invited to. My lawyer says it's legally gray, but ethically sound. Consider it a donation request. The Jasmine Morgan Foundation for Foster Youth Education. You can't be serious, Gerald laughed, but it was hollow. Dead serious. See, I've been documenting everything. Every comment about how I'm not smart like Brittany. Every time you introduced me as the foster child, instead of by my name. Every Christmas where I watched from the kitchen while your real family celebrated. Every college prep course you paid for Brittany while telling me education wasn't for everyone. I picked up my coat, the nice one they'd never seen, cashmere and perfectly tailored. My thesis advisor says it's compelling material. The psychology of academic suppression in foster placements. Harvard Press is interested. You wouldn't, Linda whispered. I would. I am. Unless. I paused, let them lean in. You can make a generous donation to my foundation. Help kids like me get what I got despite you, not because of you. This is extortion, Brittany shrieked. No, I corrected. It's justice. And significantly cheaper than having your names in my book. I headed for the door, then turned back one last time. Oh, Brittany? That community college you flunked out of? I donate to their scholarship fund now. Full ride for 5 foster kids every year. They're all doing better than you ever did. The last thing I heard before the door closed was the sound of Linda sobbing and Gerald shouting about lawyers. But me? I walked to my car. Yes, I had a car, a nice one, and drove away from that house for the last time. My phone buzzed. A text from Brittany. You owe us everything. We made you who you are. I voice texted back while sitting at a red light. No. You made me who I am in spite of you. There's a difference. Then I blocked her number, blocked them all, and drove toward my real life. The one I'd built in shadows and storage units and secret hours. The one where foster kids could be valedictorians. The one where real daughters weren't the only ones who mattered. The Kaplan Foundation called while I was driving. Did I want to discuss the fellowship over dinner? Their treat, of course. I'd love to, I said, signaling toward Cambridge. I'm free now. And for the first time in 7 years, that was actually true. The Morrison house faded in my rearview mirror, along with the girl who used to believe she wasn't smart enough. Turns out they were right about one thing. I wasn't smart like their real daughter. I was smarter. And now finally everyone knew it.